guys, and welcome back here to the Dev Realm. And today what we're gonna be doing is that we are gonna be carrying on our series. And if you guys remember what we did here in our previous series, that we have saved our data, and now we have an image coming up. And what we're gonna be doing today is that we're gonna be loading that saving into a main menu. We're gonna be pressing a button play or something, and then once we press play, we're gonna be able to play with that saving game. Right, so to do that, let's go back in here. I'm gonna go to my main here. I'm just gonna right click here. I'm gonna create a new level, so I'm gonna just save this to a folder called levels. Right, I'm gonna hit Control N on my keyboard. I'm gonna click on the basic. I'm gonna hit create, and I am gonna save this inside this folder levels, and we're gonna call something like, I don't know, main menu or something, right? And what we're gonna do here is I am going to create in this part, so we have player. So instead of being called player, let's rename this folder to call player creation mode or something. And it's gonna delete this other folder. Yeah, it shouldn't crash, I think. Nice. So what we're gonna be doing now is that we're gonna create another folder, and I am gonna call this just main menu or something. Main menu, right? And for the main menu, we are just gonna create here a blueprint class. We're gonna create a game mode. Let's call this GM main menu, right? And we're gonna plug this into the override game mode, and we're gonna create a new player controller, right? BP main menu controller, and I'm just gonna open up this main menu thing here, and I'm gonna drag and drop our main menu controller here, and that should be it. Now if you press play, nothing gonna happen because, you know, like we don't have anything to attach to. What we want to do is we're just gonna create here a new I'm just gonna create an empty character called BP placeholder, or just gonna call main menu character or something, right? I'm gonna plug this one in the player palm here, and then I'm gonna open up this guy, and I'm gonna add a camera. And this camera is just so you know, we have like something to see or something. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want my player to be moving around. I just want the camera to be static because it's a main menu, as you guys can see. Cool. Now what we can do is we're gonna go back to our widgets folder. I'm gonna create another one here, and another folder, sorry, and we're gonna call this main menu, right? And the main menu is going to be simple. It's not as complicated as the other one. Let's create a new widget. Let's call this WBP main menu or something. There we go. Compile, and let's open up this, right? Now we are going to add a canvas. Now the canvas here, we're going to be adding now, I think it's a horizontal box that we want, right? And so actually we're gonna wrap this with a vertical list, right? And we are going to put this on the middle for now, and it's gonna be 0.5, 0.5. That's great. I'm just gonna put like a list of this size or something, not too big. This is gonna be the slots that we're gonna be loading on, right? Let's just create the layout of the slot. So the layout's gonna be something simple. The image. And then we're gonna have a text, which is going to say our oh, that's the wrong one. Here. We're gonna have a text. And then in here we are going to add a button, right? And inside the button we're gonna add another text, and we're gonna call this text something like play or something, right? And I believe what we can do is that we can stick the button to the left. The text can be on the middle. Fill, yeah, and the image, we're just gonna stick fill and just leave it on the left here. And yeah, so let me just see if I can wrap this with a size box, and then we can change the size box to, yeah, let's put like I don't know, something like 200. That's too much, a little bit, by 200 for now. Yeah, I know it doesn't look great, but it's just so we can test it. Right, now let's do the same thing that we did before. I'm gonna create a new blueprint in here called WBP save games or something. Open up this guy, and then we're gonna copy and paste the same thing that we did before. Is because you may have multiple save games that you want to load. So I do gonna do in a way where we can load multiple games, but we just have one at the moment, so yeah, that'll be fine. Cool, now we have this in place. We can delete all this stuff, and we can call WBP save games or something, and we can plug this one here just to see how it's gonna look like. Alright, so first thing you gotta do here, a couple of things. Image, make sure it's public, and let's call to the thumb, right? And this is going to be the character name or something. Character name. And then in here, we are going to call this button play. And it's also going to be play, and it's fine. And in our case, we're gonna be on clicked, so it's gonna say something. We're gonna create an event dispatcher play, right? It's gonna call play game, play save game. Right, cool. We're gonna call this event, and this time we are gonna change it because we wanna add our input. So in our case, save game name, right? And we wanna load this save game, and we're gonna send back whatever is the save game. So we're just gonna promote this to the save game name. You're gonna create two more variables. The first one is gonna be the character name. Character name. Oh my gosh, character name. Just mistyping that. And then it's gonna be string. And the next thing you wanna do here is make sure is everything exposed to spawn. Exposed to spawn, make sure it's also public, all those three. This one here is going to be a texture 2D because it's going to be the image that we're going to be setting up, and I'm just going to call image. And I think that's all good. Right, so on the pre-construct, or actually on the construct, let's do the construct right now. First thing you want to do here is that we want to set our image, right? Simple, just call set texture. Set texture, and the texture is going to be whatever we're going to pass as a parameter, and then our character name is going to be that, so we are going to make sure that's a variable, come in there, and here we're going to just set text, put it in there, and then we're going to put the save game name. Great. That is awesome. So with that done, this is also done. Let's go back to our main thing here. And here's where things gonna get not complicated, but you know, we just need to open up here our widget that will display the data. So to display the data here, what we're gonna be doing here is let me just go back to my current project here. So, so to load files, right? There's many ways you can actually load file games and all that, but the easiest way I can think of here is that we are gonna create. Let me just think about it, how we're gonna do this. We're gonna create. So what do we need here? We need those three variables. yeah, so let's just create here, just for testing here. You can do in different ways, but we're gonna go back to our blueprints. We're gonna create st save game load or something, and then in that we're gonna create 3 new variables. So the first one is gonna be save game. The next one is gonna be character name and character name, and the next one is going to be the image or thumb, whatever you want. So for the thumb, it's going to be a texture 2D object reference, and then everything else is going to be a string. Nice. Compile and save. Now on the BP save games, we're going to create a new type called the save game. Let's make sure it's public, and let's change the type to be the type we just created, called st save game load. Make sure this guy is exposed on spawn and is public. Now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get those values, gonna break that, and now we can just do something like this. Get an image, get a character name. So we don't need this, so we don't need that. We don't need any of those, we don't need that. Why it doesn't allow me to delete? Anyway, we don't need, no, we do need that. Okay, compile and save. Now on here it's gonna ask for the save game. We're just gonna plug this one here, right? And I think that's pretty much good. Image. No, I think that's, yeah, that's fine. Now let's load the data. So to load that, what we're gonna do here is that we are gonna do a for loop. Not a for each, sorry. For loop. For loop. Yes, this one here. For loop. There you go. So let's say we have, you can have a max of 5 save games per level, right? So you're gonna start from 1 to 5. And then what we're gonna do here is that we're gonna call a node called load save, actually check save or save game. There's a method here that async does, yes, this one, does save game exist? So let's make sure that we can check this, and we're gonna do something called append node. And if you guys remember, we have like a ch dash, and then we're gonna put 0, and then we're gonna add another node, and this is gonna be the number, which is 01, 02. If you guys remember, this was defined in our widgets character creation in here. We probably should create this as a constant, but that's fine for now. That will work. Save. Great. Now, what is going to happen if this save exists? We are just gonna print something here, like print string. Yeah, let's press play and let's see. We should have a true that. It doesn't have true yet because I forgot one thing. We just need to make sure that on our main, on our player creation mode, on the other one, on the player here. Nope. Which one is it? Player. Yeah, main menu. Let's open up our controller. Let's go back to our event graph and let's create a widget. It's because we have to add our widget to the scene. And let's create promote to a variable called widget reference. We never know if you're gonna need to use this, and we're gonna add to viewport. That's it. And now I think that should be everything good. Let's see if that works. So if I press play, we say hello, and there we go. Cool, that start to work. Now let's load the data. So now if this is true, that means we can create a widget from class. Right? Before we create the widget, we're gonna just load save game. prone slots, right? And we're gonna plug this guy here as well. Now this is gonna get save. What we can do here is that we can cast to SV modular character. This will get our save game status back, so we can get, for example, get name, character name, right? And if I just do a print in here and show what happened, that will, you know, our character had that weird name, but that's fine. So what we can do here is that we're going to create save games or something, right? SD save game slot. This is going to be array. Make sure it's public and whatever. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to get this. We're going to add. We're going to make here. Plug this guy there. I'm going to plug this one here. We are going to do that one in a second. So the first thing we need a couple of things. So we need the save name. So the save game is going to be that. We're gonna get the name. Wrong one. Get the name. And now the image is the tricky part. So the image we only have get image. Sorry, get thumb. I think is how we call. How do we call that? Let me just double check. How do they call that name again? I'll probably put a weird name. So it's called character image. There you go. I don't know why I call that, but that's fine. So now we can get our character image. Now here is where things get not necessarily tricky, but you need to load basically that image again, right? So to load that image, what you gotta do here is that we are gonna call a node called import file as texture 2D, right? And this is gonna ask for like a path or something. So let's do a append node. So the first one here is that we're gonna get project save directory. And the reason why I'm saying save is because if you guys remember, in here we are saving that into this path, right? Now after it's gonna ask for the image name, which in our case we can just plug this one here, right? Now let's make sure this is valid. So this should in theory works. So you should create a weird name, texture 2D 2 blah blah blah, which means that's working. So our image is loading, which is great. And then we're gonna just plug this back here. And next up is we are gonna go back to our widgets, character, main menu. We're gonna get the save game here. It's gonna plug this guy right here. He's gonna ask for a save game. We can plug this one here. Save and delete here. It's gonna that. Now we are going to delete the default one. We're gonna get our vertical box reference. Make sure the vertical box is a variable. Let's just rename this to save games, right? Or something. Save games. Save. Yeah, just put save that. Now we are going to get a save reference, and we're gonna call add children. Children, right? Child. And now, if you press play, we should have our load data here. Our thumb still doesn't look great, but as you can see, is loading our information. It has our character name, and now we can do a couple of things with this. Yeah, so I think that's everything for this lesson, guys. So what we're going to be doing here is that in the next lesson, we're going to be making the part that we're going to create the player, so we can play with the player. Yeah. So yeah, once again, thank you very much for watching, and see you guys in the next one.